Hey Daisy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Rachel, for having me. It's going to be fun. I can tell already.
I'm so excited you're here. So,
Thank you again. Yes. Mhm.
why don't you just start off and telling us a little bit about you?
Well, I am here in Orlando, Florida, but I was raised in Youngstown, Ohio. So I'm a Ohioan, graduated from Ohio State. And right out of school, I was a corporate person. I went into corporate logistics after that, and was there for about 10 years. Had the most amazing mentors, I'd have to say, ever. Quaker Oats was the company, and still today, nothing can beat it in my mind. It was amazing. And then after that, I joined a professional services company with my husband, and it's a labor management software. So I was able to build a team there. So uh, there's nothing closer to getting an MBA than actually having your hands dirty, and hiring people and building processes and building this company, out of, two people initially, So that has to be, I think, the best experience ever. I can't, with the corporate experience and building a team like that, I don't think I could, beat that. It was a great experience for sure. And
That's
then
awesome.
now
Yeah.
I'm with my husband here and my 9-year-old little man, Alex, the love of my life for sure, and my total purpose and why, of course. I'm sure everybody can relate to that.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about building a team. What did that whole thing look like?
Well, it was a professional services company. So with my corporate experience, I spent a lot of time doing. I like to get my hands dirty. So before I could build a job description, I sit in the seat. I do the job. And for the professional services company, well, I kind of had to do the same thing. So before I could put together a job description, I had to get on the technical support call, learn how to use the software. And then from that, you're able to build certain job descriptions, which I think is important because in order to clarify not only in your own mind what needs to get done, but also as you're communicating to someone else, these are the steps that I envision this role doing. And but I understand that as you progress through this position, you're going to be able to tell me what the job title may need to be adjusted to. So um, I think it was fun. I loved it. And still today, in building a new team. This is kind of what I'm hopefully going to be doing in the next few months. I just love this part. This is the partnership part, because not only are you building a team because you have employees, but these are going to be your partners. These are going to be the people that are going to give you the feedback, that are going to say, this isn't working. We have to fix this. We have to change it. I got a customer complaint today because we're not doing this right. So you can start somewhere, but your employees and your team tell you where to go, with their experience. Like, shame on us if we're not listening. You know what I mean? So I think it's a blast, total blast.
Huge. I love that.
Mhm.
So, what tips do you have for us on hiring and building a team and empowering those people to actually be sharing with you, like their tips, their advice, and how to move your business forward?
I think that sense of openness is important, I think, from day one. It has to be, here's the job description, all the boring stuff, the admin stuff. But that sense of empowerment comes from you being open, and saying, I don't have all the answers. This is my best guess. I've sat there. I do know what you're going to be experiencing, but you're going to become the expert, and I can't wait till you tell me more, on how this should be done. So that, I think, is going to lay the foundation ongoing. That empowerment comes with that sense of feeling free and comfortable. So but it's amazing when it starts to happen, that feedback, and they start to build your team. Yeah.
I think that's huge. We've just started building out our team even more. And one of the first things I do is making sure they know that I really do value their voice, value their
Hmm.
opinion, that I don't have all the answers. And
Yeah.
if they see something that they want to jump on or do better or improve, like I am all ears. And
Yes.
I think being humble as a leader is
You
so
have to be.
important, don't you think?
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Like, you truly, like, I would make like a million mistakes a day.
Oh, for
So
real.
how is that not being you have to be humble. So I think when you project that, listen, I'm gonna make a mistake in probably an hour. So if you could just help me out too, then it's comfortable, it's natural, So I do think it's important. I agree with you 100%. Yep.
Awesome. Well, tell us what you're doing right now with your app.
Well, this is a new concept. I'm a business process consultant,
Okay.
and with that comes a whole bunch of experiences and life and all of that. But the app is a service and community supported tool, and quite honestly, the inspiration is the working mom.
Mm.
It covers the core responsibilities that we have on a daily basis, and that is. Regardless of what roles we have, if we're a doctor, if we're a lawyer, somehow, some way, we have the responsibility on a daily basis to feed our families. So
They must eat.
they have to eat no matter what you do. They always ask to eat. So you have your meal planning, right? And with that meal planning, then that information goes into your shopping list, and then you have your tasks list that all the things that you have to get done in a day. Well, if we capture that in a solution, then we can learn from your daily activity, right? And we can automatically assign tasks to the people that need to be responsible for those tasks. So there's automatic delegation, without you having to coordinate that. Saving time for the working mom, for me, is my biggest passion. I go into the grocery store today, Rachel, and I know you have too. And I see that working mom, she still has her heels on, and possibly one heel is broken, but somehow, some way she's carrying her two kids from, the daycare center, and she's got to get food on the table. She's got to get home to get the homework done. And I see the franticness, and that's my passion right there, is that look. I want to alleviate that pressure from working moms today, single moms, working parents. Right now, dads are taking, I think, a bigger role as well. And I see them there too, trying to haggle with two kids. And there's got to be a better way. So the app is just the beginning of what I hope will be a community of help, to support the working mom. So we start off with a productivity tool that's tied in with products and services. So when I need help, I assign or I make those tasks visible to the people that need to see them, and then they can jump in to help out. So hopefully this community will start to grow, and then people will see tasks that are on your community list, and they'll say, hey, wait a minute, I know where there's a mechanic in Lake Nona, Florida. Call this guy, and so now things start getting completed on their own, without you having to go out to apps and, solutions and picking up the phone and trying to get things done yourself. It's the beginning.
I love that. I love that. Like all those little tasks, like the mechanic, or just like getting something cleaned, or just like the little things that are so annoying that like you just
They're
have
so
to
annoying. Just the other day, my son started soccer, on Tuesday or Monday. I forgot that I had to get him the cleats, so I'm frantically trying to find cleats, and he has extra wide, size or whatever. But if you put that on there, I reached out to a couple of friends, and, they had mentioned already, hey, try this place. This place has got him. Go this place. And I'm like, okay, now that item, that task, I had on my task list from 3 weeks ago. That could have been done 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So we're capturing things throughout our day, but there's no reason why those tasks can't be completed as we're moving through our day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll see.
No, I think that's super cool. Tell us about the team that you've built out so far with this new business.
Well, right now, because I'm starting up, then I actually am using a lot of contractors. So with that, I have contractors in Colombia. I have a contractor in Arizona. And now, as I'm building the team, I would love to get those closer to home and start building the day-to-day team, as opposed to my app building team and those kinds of things. So, but that part is going to be fun. I can't wait to get there. Yeah, I can't wait to get there. That's such an accomplishment to get there.
That's huge. So who are the contractors that you're hiring out, just so we can get an idea of what it takes to really build out an app?
Right. Right now, they are mobile app, Android app developers.
Okay.
The gentleman is in Colombia. And we started off with the app developer there. The problem being is in the US, the costs are still so high,
Yep.
And
Totally.
I received a quote, and there was no way that I could even make this concept even come close to what I wanted it to be with the cost there. It would have been an idea that would have just been put off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
But this ability to connect outside of the U.S. With other contractors to try to get something done, I've asked around, and then of course people recommend you, and so I was very lucky to find someone. But even so, with that solution, I wasn't even able to finish the app that I needed.
Mm.
So then I had to teach myself how to build an app on a different platform.
Oh man.
So I was able to do that because when you're low on cash and you're on startup mode, it's like being back in college. Where
Yeah.
you're
You
on
live and
ramen
eat and you
noodles.
figure it out.
Yeah, you're on ramen noodles, McDonald's Tuesday $25 hamburger, or 25-cent hamburger special. You have to find ways of getting things done, and sometimes you just have to teach yourself how to do it if you don't have the money, and it prolongs the process.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, the idea is in a somewhat prototype or concept mode. So that's what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get to how can I communicate the concept to potential users so that they can say yay or yeah, that'll work if you only do this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
So that's part of the tough part. When you're low on cash, you kind of have to do those kinds of things and
Bootstrap it for sure.
bootstrap it. Yeah.
You do.
Any way you can. Yeah.
Can I ask what the cost difference is between like developing an app in the States versus doing it in Colombia or doing somewhere overseas?
4 times as higher. As
So how
much.
much can I ask like prices? How much does it
Sure.
cost? Yeah.
The quote that I received in the US was $175,000.
Shut the front door. Oh my God.
I'd have to sell the house.
Yeah.
In order to get even what I needed to get done, it was $175,000.
Wow.
But the thing was, Rachel, is I would have loved to have worked with some of these teams in the US.
Absolutely.
Just talking to them, it's like, I just want to sit in the room with you guys. This is cool.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to have worked with that, but I, just didn't have the funds.
Yeah.
So, and then of course the quote I received, I had gotten everything under the sun, but some of the lowest were 20,000 and 30,000. So, I stayed on the low end, and then unfortunately got only a quarter of what I needed to get done because of quoting,
Yeah.
So it's a chance, it's a risk that you're taking too.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. And in that process, I made a big mistake. I kind of wish that I knew about this platform then, because I would have that money that I had spent on the app. Now I need that money to build out my team. So the irony of it is amazing because, but you kind of learn, and that's why I think I'm loving talking to you today, because if there's anyone out there who's looking to do that process, please call me first.
Yeah.
Don't spend the money yet. You might determine that you still need to, but let's talk first. Let's see what's out there first before you do it, because you're going to need that money for other stuff. Really.
For sure.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
Talk to us about what we should know as entrepreneurs. Like if someone wants to start an app, what's something that you would tell them first? Obviously funds, but is there anything else that you should tell them they should know before starting, challenges that they're going to face, things they should be aware of?
Mm-hmm. If it's an app that you're looking for. Now, my solution, I'm not selling the app at the end of the day, right? It's the tool that will get you to the service. So it's a productivity tool that gets you to the service and hopefully the time that you're looking to save. But if you're starting an app and that's what you're planning on monetizing, then it's important that you process map the whole flow of the app, because as you're talking to a group and you're getting a quote, you don't want them to start to tell you what the app is supposed to do if you don't have it already set in your mind on what the end result should be. So I think it's a matter of organizing yourself a little bit. You could do it on a piece of paper, but there's tons of tools out there that'll let you map it out, and put together a quick little prototype. And then you can fill in the pieces when you talk to a good team. And then you can get an educated quote, as opposed to, well, we could start at 5,000 or we could start at 250,000. Which one would you like? So I think that's the process, and you got to shop around.
Yep.
There's tons of sites available now that you can post a project and get a quote. And then again, try to solidify that quote as much as you can. Even after you select your supplier or your provider, go through it again, and then stay on top of the project. You've got to go through every single project step and make sure that we're following through on each side. If you're supposed to turn in information for this, then you've got to stay on top of it. If they are supposed to do it, you got to stay on top of it,
Absolutely. Can you go back and talk to us a little bit about monetization? So you're not charging for the app. So how does the app make money?
Yes. The plan for this solution is there's going to be a small subscription fee to the user when there's services involved. So if there's meal planning, we're planning on providing all the meal planning services based on the user's preferences. That's part of the service. Cool. And then there's pick up and drop off, as part of the tasks part. So there's going to be a monthly fee for that. It's obviously not going to cover all the labor involved, because we're also monetizing from the supplier's point of view too. We're engaging suppliers and helping to resolve some of these tasks that are in the queue. So those suppliers would then pay us a commission for the business that's being sent to them as well.
So are you saying that there would be like a meal delivery system that be hooked up to the app, and that you would be going through that app choosing, okay, I want to eat this week, and then the meal delivery service, like, it'll just come and deliver your food?
Yes, because that meal, the ingredients,
give it to me.
right. Yeah, I needed it yesterday or 10 years ago. But yeah, once the meals are selected, then you're sending those items to your shopping list.
Got it.
And then our service is buying the items on the shopping list. That's what we're focused on, is buying all those items on the shopping list, trying to get the best price. That's a future feature, but and then of course delivering that. I know it's big. It's not a small feat by any means, but if you think about it, this is what our moms are doing every day. So to some people it may say, well, that's a lot, but that's what working women are doing. We're doing a lot.
I see this being like the future though. Like, this is what we need, and this is offering such an awesome solution.
Yeah, and I think it's not going to happen quickly. I'm pretty aware of that. I know it's going to take time, but I agree with you. I think that this is what we need, because working moms, our options to stay at home, I think those days are kind of gone. Working moms, we want to work. We want to be out there. We want to solve problems. We want to be in the boardroom. But we also have this other, responsibility that we love as well. And there's got to be a way to manage that. We need a third person, a third body, a third arm, right, to help us coordinate what we can. And then we engage as we need to. But there's all this support around this working family that I think needs to be in place just automatically. It just automatically needs to be there.
I love it. So you're obviously very business savvy. Have you always been entrepreneurial?
It's funny. I have been entrepreneur, but I didn't realize it. When I was little, I think it was in the 5th grade, I made these little bow ties. I sold them myself, and then I would go to school and I would take orders. I put them on my shoes so the kids would see them. And then I'd go to school and I would take orders, and I was charging at the time. Now, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but at the time I was charging $5 for these 2 little bow ties, and the girls were loving them, and they would pay for them. And I think it was like in the 5th or 6th grade when I was doing this. So I would take my orders home, and then I'd make I'd sew my little bow ties, and then I would go to school and I'd collect $5. And I didn't know that that's what was happening at the time, but from that point forward, I had always done something at school where I was making something, selling it, collecting the cash, reinvesting. And today I laugh at it because I wish I would have those bow ties now, because you know what they sell at the shoe stores. Little bow ties, you just put them on your shoes now. And, I'm so happy now that I think we have better support for girls, to be entrepreneurial and to help them, because had we had those resources back then, who's to say, what those girls would have been able to do, what we would have been able to do. So, I'd love to be engaged more in that. How can we help? How can we engage them more and give them that, that thought process to say, I can do that. Why not? So
How do you
awesome.
think we can?
I have a good friend. She's really doing a good job at it. She's putting together coursework. I think what you're doing, I love that as well, because now we're teaching, we're educating, and then we're allowing people to start thinking about, wait a minute, I've got a similar skill set, not exactly what you're doing, but I can do that too. Mm-hmm. So I think by young girls being able to see things like what you're doing, and what other entrepreneurs are doing, men and women, I hope that starts to spark their thought. But it's up to us. We have to engage ourselves. It's not going to come to us, Yep. So it's my responsibility, if I want to help. I agree 100%. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. So what's been your biggest struggle as an entrepreneur, and how did you work through that?
Well, I'm in it right now, right? Now I'm ready to go on to the next phase, funding. Funding for women, for startups is a very difficult thing. I think, what is it now? Women nowadays, I think, are only getting 6 to 7% of investment dollars.
Oh, wow.
Out there. Yeah. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And I will work hard to get that. I'm not so much worried about, I'd love to get it easily, but I understand that there's going to be hard work involved in me getting any funding. But I certainly wish that there were better avenues, for all of us that have a new concept, or want to start new businesses. So I'm not too sure how we can start that conversation even more than what's out there now. But the only things that I think that we can do is start to prove ourselves, try to find fundings in the ways that we know how. Mm-hmm. And for women, I think we tend to go into our 401k, or we'll bootstrap it, and we'll, hold our full-time jobs and try to finance it that way. So, but it's going to take a while until we are in the seat that we need to be in, and it's about pulling the others up. When we're there, are we doing our part to pull the others up?
Yep.
And I hopefully one day I'll be there, and it would be time for me to prove myself as well. Have I, done that for someone else?
Well, I think you're doing it right now just by sharing your advice, your learnings, your struggles, and all of that, because that's such a helpful resource for other entrepreneurs to hear from people who've been there just a few steps ahead of them.
Yeah, I hope so. So. Anything, any pain I can give you, I can probably tell you more mistakes that I can, advise at this point. But even from those, you're going to use that as a checklist. Don't do this. Don't do that.
That's just part of the whole entrepreneurial journey, though. Like, if you're not failing, you're not moving forward.
Yeah, that's a great way to look forward. What do they call it? Failing forward.
Failing Forward is the book by John Maxwell. I've seen him times, and I've read so many of his books. I've met him. Like, I read his book this morning, No Limits. But yeah, like, if you haven't read Failing Forward yet, do it, because it's so good.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
I think that's just something we always have to keep in mind, that we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fail. And that's how you learn. I don't know. Are you familiar with Sarah Blakely?
No.
She's the creator of Spanx. She was one of the first female billionaires.
For sure.
She said that her dad actually encouraged her to fail. And I think it was like I'm going to butcher the quote, but it was like every day he asked her, like, what's something that you failed at? And she said that was one of her biggest like growth experiences, because he encouraged that failure, and he encouraged.
And she wasn't afraid.
Nope.
She wasn't afraid to put herself out there, Yep. Yeah. I think that's part of our struggle, and even for me, I'm always afraid to put myself out there, because what if I just look silly? What if people just laugh at the idea and say, there's no way, like, what are you thinking? So that's part of the struggle right there, is getting over yourself and to say, you know what, I'm just going to put myself out there, and whatever catches, and just keep going for it, keep trying,
What if you put yourself, what if you put yourself out there and you end up creating something amazing that impacts so many lives?
It's true. It's true. I had a moment on one of my groups the other day, and I posted the picture where I was just completely frustrated. And it's funding, it's all the other stuff that happens when you're an entrepreneur. And it was kind of a crazy picture. There were tears. I had my hand on my face, and then it was with other moms or working parents, and they were just like, "Hey, I've been there. I know exactly what you're thinking right now." And that support from other people just really pulls you up and says, "You know what? You need to dust yourself off. Get over it. Put yourself back out there. You failed. Okay, now what are you gonna do?
Now what?
I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if we're not challenging ourselves, then what are we doing?
Exactly.
If we're just doing the status quo,
I love that. So what does it mean to you to make an impact, and how are you infusing purpose into your business?
My biggest interest and concern is making sure that I'm impacting my son, of course. I'm raising my son, and have I made an impact in his life that, will help him as he gets older. But making an impact in this way with this concept is everything. Because again, just like we were talking earlier, I get to the grocery store, and it's going to happen today. I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to see that mom. And that hits home. I don't want to see that. There is another option for that. So that's how important it is for me. There are options, and I know you, Rachel, you have options. You can go to corporate, or you can do this position that I think is maybe something that you're comfortable with. But for some reason, we engage ourselves in this madness to solve a problem. And it's not pretty, it's not glamorous, and we're not making money, and we're struggling. Even though there's this other option, we still continue to do this thing. And it's because we want to make an impact. How can I change even one person's life where she comes home and things are where they need to be? She has what she needs. She makes her meal, and then she's able to spend time with her kids the way she wants to. Or maybe she wants to work out, because she's been dying to work out, or she wants to read a book. Now she has a time to do that. That's huge. For me, that's everything. That's making that impact on one person's life is huge. There's no telling what she's going to be capable of doing when she's got that extra time, So that's what's important to me. I can probably talk about it for days and days and days.
No, I love it. Awesome. So what's next for you?
Now that the app is in a good prototype stage, now it's up to me to find users to test it. And then at the same time, looking for funding to build my team, So it's a critical point at this point, The app is free, for anyone. It's when you start using the service that there's, this monthly fee. So for right now, everyone can use it,
awesome.
which is fun, which is a good idea. People are exercising it and giving me some feedback to change it if I need to. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
So where can we find the app?
The app is on the website. It's thirdarm.life.
Okay.
Because everybody needs a third arm. Yeah. And I'm on Facebook, Third Arm Life, so if they want to engage there, and again, feedback, comments, I'll take all of it, good, bad, or indifferent. I love it, love it.
Cool. Well, we'll make sure to put all of those in the show notes so people can reach out to you and learn more. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Just what we were talking about earlier. If there's anyone out there that is interested in doing these kinds of things, entrepreneurial, thoughts, ideas, let's talk. If they're not picking your brain, pick my brain, pick anyone's brain, but please talk to someone. Don't keep the idea to yourself, because you need validation. You need feedback, and don't spend any money yet. Let's talk to someone first, find out as much as you can, do your research. It'll certainly pay off in the end, for sure. And I'm available. You know, I'll talk to anyone who wants to do this, especially our working moms.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it. Well, Miss Daisy, I've had so much fun talking with you. Thank you so much for just sharing all of your expertise, your knowledge, your mistakes, your lessons with us. We really appreciate it.
You got it. Anytime. And this was fun. Thank you so much for doing this. This
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.